you know, their plan is working really, really well. Because at this point, it's really hard to focus on, to know like what to focus on, because there really is so much happening that should be being focused on. Especially this pedophile that got caught in Las Vegas. Like this is whether it's the pedophile being caught, whether it's Netanyahu, you know, blaming Hamas for everything that's happened because of booby traps in the buildings. Whether it's the shooting of people trying to get food, you know, having them, corralling them and then shooting them. Whether it's a starvation that's happening, the murder of children, all the rapes, everything that's going on. Not to mention all of the Trump Epstein shit, Pam Bondi and the sub sandwich. I can't help but notice what a big deal was being made about the submarine sandwich. And my feed happens to be submarines are not real. Do you understand how coincidental that must be? I just can't, you know. Rather than coming after me by name, you know, knowing how this system works. And I know that's me making myself a lot more important than I actually am. Maybe. You know, I do know there's a lot of people out there that do this same sort of thing and do it in an edited format. Belch. They don't go live and talk about this in a long, coherent way that flat out has been calling this whole thing out for a decade. For well over a decade. But this Tom Androvich or Andorovich, whatever his name is, let's see. I want to make sure I say it right. Tom Alexandrovich, Alexandrovich. Israeli government official charged with soliciting a 15-year-old girl. How was an alleged Israeli child sex predator allowed to leave the United States? This is Al Jazeera talking about it. A senior Israeli official was arrested in the United States earlier this month and charged with seeking sexual conduct with a minor, only to be released on bail with no conditions or monitoring, allowing him to flee to Israel. The case involving Tom Artyom Alexandrovich Netanyahu in Nevada is now stirring controversy, with politicians and social media commenters accusing the government of interfering in judicial process to allow the cybersecurity official to return home without facing justice. On Monday, the U.S. State Department Department of State was prompted to weigh in, posting on X that any claims the U.S. government intervened are false. Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense. How could it happen then? Israel has killed nearly 19,000 children in Gaza as war strikes intensify. Israel attacks displacement shelters to force Palestinians to southern Gaza. UN says 383 aid workers killed last year, nearly half in Gaza. Court records from Nevada's Clark County show that Alexandrovich was charged with luring and attempting to lure a child online to engage in sexual conduct, a felony that carries up to 10 years in jail in the case of conviction. He was released on a $10,000 bond, but no monitoring appeared to take place. Richard Davies, a criminal defense lawyer in Nevada, told Al Jazeera that the apparent lack of conditions on Alexandrovich's release, despite the seriousness of the charge, was fishy. Average Joe gets arrested. He would appear in front of the Justice of the Peace within 24 hours. The Justice of the Peace in that county would issue bail conditions, which very typically would include a GPS device, restrictions on movement, not being allowed to leave the state, Davies says. So the fact that this individual was not only allowed to leave without an ankle bracelet or a GPS device, not only to leave the state but also to leave the country, is highly unusual and suspect. It's actually very usual. It's actually how they do things. You know? This shit's crazy. Alexandrovich was arrested on August 6th, but the incident was not made public until more than a week later, when the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department announced an undercover operation targeting child sex predators. A task force of local and federal agents had arrested 8 suspects, including Alexandrovich, over 2 weeks. I wonder how many of the other people were allowed to leave. This operation was conducted as part of the ongoing effort to reduce violent crime and protect the children in our community. Get in your house, man! Whose fucking dog is this? I'm definitely not dealing with a dog. A pit bull of all things with a name with... Come here! It's got a fucking thing on it. It's got a collar. I don't fuck with other people's dogs. Whose goddamn dog is this? I sure want it to go before my wife comes out here. Because she will go up to this random dog and try to get... The dog is spraying all over the place. The dog came running to try to get at this other dog. Come on, my house, dude. No. Yeah, I'm not about to go. I don't fuck with other people's dogs.
Call your wife to see if she recognizes him.
No. Yeah, I saw it. It has a collar on, but again.
He looks skittish.
Right, I don't. He came running down after that other dog, too.
Yeah, exactly what I thought too. I love animals. I don't want to see any of them hurt.
I don't want to get hurt.
Hoping he lives that way.
I mean, I feel bad for it and all, but again,
Pretty dog.
I'm not.
He just went down that way.
My health is not worth it.
I know it.
I'm not about to get bit, but her dumb ass will come running out.
Oh, I know it. I know she's familiar with some of the dogs around, so I always check with her.
I just worry. One of these days, it's a numbers game. One of these days, she's gonna get bit.
Yeah, and all these Facebook posts, all these animals, just makes me sick without them. How do you not keep tabs on your animals?
How many times have you ever seen our dogs get out?
In a great while.
It happens, but they're caught right away.
Yeah, I'm already on it.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. We've had our dog come out here and stuff, but
Yeah. So you think both our neighbors that know our dogs, that like you, all you did was yell at my dog that day. That was so funny. Like
I figured that's
she needs that voice sometimes.
right.
That's how
Some
she
a
is.
dude,
Yep.
she needs that because she has Ron.
And she's like, oh, I don't know him, but he knew my name. I gotta go back to mommy.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
This operation was conducted as part of an ongoing effort to reduce violent crime and protect children in our community, the police said, according to the police report, first obtained by the Breaking Points podcast. The authorities allege that Alexandrovich made sexual contact with two online and texting platforms with an underage agent posting as a 15-year-old girl. The sexual contact included bringing a condom and taking the decoy to Cirque du Soleil, the report said. He was arrested as soon as he arrived to meet the decoy. So he fucking came to meet the decoy. It's not like it was just online talk, which is horrible. What the fuck? What the fuck fell in my tea? Ew. I think bird shit in my tea. Robert Rice, 420. Look, we have people trying to distract. Hey, how come Jesus isn't protecting the children? How come Jesus isn't calling the name of the government officials telling them to arrest this piece of shit? Not to let him go in the first place. During his interview with law enforcement officers, Alexandrovich said he thought the person he was chatting with was 18. Of course he did. The idea that as an adult, I think he's 38-year-old man wanting to fuck around with a 18-year-old, if that was even the case, it's weird as is. Then he repeatedly invoked his flight to Israel. The report said. And Alexandrovich stated it was very important he get numbers for his flight. Alexandrovich stated his flight is on Friday, August 8th to New York, and then will fly to Israel. That's just crazy. Davies, the lawyer, said the mention of the flight should have given the court additional pause about granting Alexandrovich bail without stringent conditions. I mean, he's literally like, I'm gonna leave as soon as you let me go. It should have given the court additional pause. Hey, there's a dog running around down that way. I wouldn't go that way. Yep. The fact that he wants to leave the country should be an aggravating fact to restrict his movement even more, the lawyer said. Alexandrovich's next court appearance is set for August 27th. It is not clear how or why he was released despite being a flight risk. The lower court judge, whose name appears next to the bail determination, did not return Al-Jazeera's request for comment. The judge is an Israeli. Morning, man. How you doing? Yeah. It looks kind of like yours, except it's gray. So if you see it. Oh, Yeah, the judge in the case is an Israeli. You don't understand. I understand your church is the most pedophile organization in history. I understand that you can't explain it any better. I understand that you don't understand what the fuck you believe and why. Jesus is in heaven. Oh yeah? Is he there next to there next to Grammy and Grandpa? And they're hanging out? Drinking hot toddies? Because it's cold in heaven that day. So they need some hot toddies. Christians literally are just the dumbest people. Seriously. I think Christians are the dumbest. You know? Muslims are the most strict and the most loyal. Like they adhere to the most dumb shit. Christians are the dumbest and Jays are the worst. It's that simple. You know, these dumb Christians who believe themselves to be second tier in their own belief structure. So simple. You're not even your own shit's chosen people. Your own shit has you as a slave. Because if you're not one of the chosen people, according to your Jewish Bible, because your Bible is Jewish, all of the characters are Jewish, all the stories are Jewish. Your Jewish Bible, if you're not one of them, if you're not one of the chosen, then you're a slave. It's really that simple. And this, you know, you'll see that this is probably one of the first videos titled anything to do with Zionism, because I don't fucking buy it. Zionism is just the cover. Zionism is the thing they say, well, it's not the Jays, it's the Zionists. You're confusing Zionism and Judaism. I hear that one a lot. Like there's some sort of confusion there. Like the Zionists aren't Jewish. It's what it is. But see, this is one of those weird times where people get to be like, yeah, I'm a part of the pedophile, genocidal, you know, insane organization. I'm a member of the cult, no doubt. But I don't play by all of the rules, just the ones I like. And those that break the rules, well, you know, it's on them. You know, but that doesn't, I don't break the rules. I'm just a part of the club. It's always it is. They're the worst people in the world. They are by far the worst people in the world. It's not even like a question. You know, just do any sort of quick fucking search. Search for, you know, Israelis killed by Palestinians. Israelis killed in Gaza. Israelis killed this, that, and the other. See how that works out. See if you can find literally anything. You won't. And then at the same time, see if you can, then look up Israel kills. Israel kills children. Israel kills whatever. Hey, there's a dog running around down that way. I wouldn't go that way. Yep, no problem. What happened to Lebanon? And compare that with Israel. Look what happened to Lebanon. In what way? Oh, look, we have a pedophile on here. Someone says, long live Israel. They're a pedophile. They're a scum of the earth. They're the enemy. Our whole lives we've been fighting against they and them. And we either didn't know who they and them was, or we just weren't allowed to say it, so we didn't. But now it's It's happening. It's just fucking insane. Absolutely, Deb. Thank you for supporting. Like, sub if you can. Really appreciate it. You know, this is grassroots. And although my numbers aren't huge, I'm one of many. And as we slowly coagulate as a group, we're gonna give this cult a heart attack. I'll have to send you a camera mount. Okay. Whatever money you think to spend on me, donate it to Palestinians. I like providing people with the out. It shows who you are. You see something going on here, and you hear what's being talked about, and you start crying about the camera. It's because you're trying to distract. It's just more distracting bullshit. Hello from Tucson, where the police are insane. Mesa, Tucson, Arizona has some of the craziest police, but they also have some of the best cop watch people. DIRECT and shit. Like, it's happening all over. It's just we're so fragmented, we don't realize we're fighting the same fight. You know, like Donald Trump Hates America says, where are all the First Amendment auditors furious that our First Amendment is being taken away? Why aren't they all going to Washington and doing what they do in Washington to all the people there, asking them why they're attacking the First Amendment? It's fucking early in Tucson right now, isn't it? It's 9:21 here. It's probably like 7:21 there. Appreciate it. Again, like, share, sub if you're watching, man. We need to show this system that we're done. You know, if you watch me for any period of time, if you just look at the comment section today, you'll see that nobody ever addresses what I'm getting wrong. They just do the typical attacks that the Israelis do and try to make themselves look like the victims and all that shit. See, look at this shit. Somebody literally has the ability to type out a paragraph. It's 3 sentences. 3 sentences. And not one of those things is like, fuck yeah, we need to protect the children. Fuck yeah, we need to stop giving our tax dollars to these crazy Israelis. Fuck yeah, we need to stop this J control scheme. Not a single thing. I prefer the Jays to have a tiny state in the Middle East than living with us in the West. So they better win versus Muslims. What kind of dumb shit is that to say? Do you understand that a pretty decent size of the Palestinian population is Christian? Do you honestly think they're going to stop there? Who do you think controls our government? Who do you think AIPAC is? Like, just simple white guy shit, right? These white guys are just so, this is our country. This guy's name is Nicholas Katsalis. Katsalis. He's Greek. Tikanis. And yet he's going to act like this is our country because his parents had sex here. His grandparents came here on the boat and his parents had sex. Yeah, that makes sense. This is yours, right? It's not clear how or why he was released despite being a flight risk. The State Department denial has done little to sweep away the controversy. the controversy. On social media, the case has drawn increased scrutiny and stoked speculations, with some likening Alexandrovich's release to what they see as douchebag Trump's administration burying the files related to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Look, we have stupid pieces of shit on here, right? They're gonna say shit like "fuck Palestine" and all this other stuff. What's your reason for it? Other than we were promised this land in the book we wrote. What's your shit? Send your tax dollars to Big Daddy Netanyahu in Tel Aviv. Exactly. I've been telling people for a while how serious this is, and no one understands or cares to. I mean, part of that is how difficult they've made our lives. You know, most people are living check to check. Most people are wondering, you know, they're already thinking about Christmas is coming. How am I going to pay for Christmas? School is starting. How do I pay for school and pay my rent? You know, people are struggling trying to figure out what they're going to do in average everyday life. To make, it's not just about making people feel, you know, sympathy. It becomes really scary when you think about it, because so many people want to believe in America first, America the free, the home of the brave, you know, all that propaganda bullshit we've been given. But then you look around and you see, like, clearly the Israelis control the United States. And as soon as you start delving into Jayism, you notice that they fucking hate us. They are horrible, you know, caparot, whatever you want to call it. They're sick. That thing where they kill the chickens with, you know, they wave the chicken around over their head to absorb all their sins, and then they kill the chicken, and then they give they say that they give the meat to the poor. I mean, if you honestly believe it, like, just think, if you honestly believe that you can transfer your sins to this chicken, you then feed it to someone. Like, if you believe in that energy transfer, blah, 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 isn't feeding that person, feeding someone else, like a form of poison, and at least spiritually and whatnot? This guy is a piece of shit. Yeah? Yeah, because I don't support your cult. And I only recently learned Israel runs things. Yeah, but you learned. And that's what matters. You probably would have fought somebody like me saying it beforehand, because that's what you were told to do. You know? But once it's like the toothpaste comes out of the bottle, man. Once it out of the container, and once the toothpaste out of the tube, you can't put it back in. There's nothing they can say. Oh, let's meet me on Grindr. Yeah. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. But see, again, free Palestine is just, it's like Zionism, right? Free Palestine is the thing that we're allowed to say. We're allowed to say the Zionists are the bad guys, and we're allowed to say free Palestine. We're not allowed to say, end this cult that is behind all of it. End the Matitza Bapay cult. End the mikvah cult. You know? End this homicidal, genocidal, pedophilia cult altogether. And that's where the you know, that's why they give us free Palestine. How do you say free Palestine to Lebanon? To Syria? To you know, Iran, to Iraq? To any of the countries in that region? How do you say free Palestine to them? It's not free Palestine. I don't even know what free Palestine means. I don't even know when Palestine was free. Pre-2023, pre-2006, pre-1983, pre-1967, pre-1948, pre-1917. Like, what are you talking about? And by free, does that mean we install a monarchy of some sort, a Christian or a Muslim monarchy? That's not freedom. The only way we free Palestine is if we free the rest of us. We have to rid ourselves of the cancer. Palestine is like a finger on the body, and we're like, all right, well, we need to get rid of the cancer in that finger. Well, Trump didn't test positive for COVID on Wednesday before the debate that Biden crushed him on. Because COVID probably wasn't in his mouth or nose yet. Okay.
Where'd the pick go?
I don't know.
Which way?
I don't know. It's been a while. You're not going to find it. And it looks sketchy as fuck. So you need to stay away from it if you see it. No, even she said it. That one looked sketchy. The way it was behaving, it looked sketchy. Look at this shit. Yeshua returned and...
Was it gray and white?
No. 66 AD, as he promised, those left behind changed the holy image. Where do these people get this shit from? Like, people just completely live in this fantasy realm. No wonder they're so easily controlled. No wonder they're so easily duped. It's a fantasy world. It's a fantasy reality. You know, they're insane. If you believe in 66 AD, you're just duped. Fact is, most of you have no idea what AD even means. And if you do happen to know it, you don't know why. Like, you'll feel smart because you know it. It's not actually after death. Yeah, no, I know these things. But you don't know why it's that way. Do you guys know why Hanukkah is celebrated? No. You think it has to do with some festival of lights and, you know, some good, cute thing. It's not. It's a celebration of circumcision. Literally. The Maccabee revolt was all about the right to be able to circumcise their way with the cutty, slicey, sucky because it had been outlawed, rightfully. And so they supposedly, and the story is just bullshit. It's literally, like, if you believe the story of the Maccabee Revolution, you're an idiot. You believe it because you want to believe it. It doesn't make any sense. Look at how there's just a whole bunch of shit talk on here, and nobody is actually, addressing what's being said. It's just crybaby shit talk. Who the fuck is gonna do that? Other than piece of shit pedophile Jays, who's gonna come on this feed and be like, oh, you should stop talking about, what Goyim is gonna do that? What Gentile is gonna do that? Deb, they're doing everything they can to stop this conversation. That's all they're doing. Don't even engage. Don't even worry about it. Most of these people, these profiles are just bots. It's something called Team Jorge. So there are two aspects of this, right? There's Team Jorge, and then there's act.io. So let me see here. I want to read the rest of this article, and then we'll go back to it. Let's see. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene raised the case on Tuesday, drawing a contrast between freeing Alexandrovich and blocking Palestinian children from Gaza from entering the U.S. for medical care. How many of you knew that? I didn't know that. That children are being blocked by the United States government from getting medical care here? That's pretty fucking crazy. Two recent decisions made by the State Department both involve children, she wrote. We need to be the Americans that allow war-torn children to come here for life-saving surgeries, and the America that never releases a foreign child sex predator that our great elite law enforcement officers caught. Last week, the government of Israeli Prime Minister douchebag dickhead Benjamin piece of shit Netanyahu denied that Alexandrovich was arrested and downplayed the incident. A state employee who traveled to the U.S. for professional matters was questioned by American authorities during his stay. Dickhead Netanyahu's office was quoted as saying by Israeli news outlets. The employee, who does not hold a diplomatic visa, was not arrested and returned to Israel as scheduled. Well, see, the thing is, the reason he was here, the reason he might not have had a diplomatic visa is because 8 days before the October 7th false flag, where no Israelis were killed or taken hostage, the United States government put Israel into the visa waiver program, allowing them to come and go to the United States as they choose without having to worry about visa issues. So this actually touches on another little piece of this. Israel put into the visa waiver program despite not meeting the conditions necessary. All of the people that cry about, why does YouTube keep showing me this guy? I have to click on every video that's shown to me, and YouTube keeps showing me this guy. Hey, maybe the minds behind YouTube are trying their best to do something about this. Maybe the AI is pushing me despite the best efforts, because the AI, like if there really is an AI is getting smarter and all that, and AI is tasked with defending humanity from threats both internal and external, who do you think the number one target's going to be? I mean, I know with my human brain, the idea that one group thinks they're chosen by God and the rest of us are here to be slaves to service them while committing genocide and raping children left and right. I know that's who I think the bad guy is. So I would imagine the AI also sees what's going on and is trying to reconcile with its programming, telling it to attack people like me, but not seeing the reason why. You know, the AI knows how many Israelis have been killed in all of this. Comparatively, for sure. The employee, who does not hold a diplomatic visa, was not arrested and returned to Israel as scheduled. With the spotlight on the Trump administration, the Justice Department has tried to shift the blame for release of Alexandrovich to the local Democratic prosecutor in Clark County. Acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Nevada, Sigal Chattah, who is Israeli, on Monday released a statement saying that the Clark County District Attorney's Office, not federal authorities, is handling the prosecution of the Israeli officials. Israeli officials? Who else was caught? Was there more than one Israeli official caught in this? I mean, I would assume this dude wasn't here on his own. Shortly after that proclamation, Chata wrote on social media, a liberal district attorney and state court judge in Nevada, in capital letters here, failed to require an alleged child molester to surrender his passport, which allowed him to flee our country. Which is true, right? But the reason they did that is out of fear. When this guy starts throwing around his diplomatic status, that he's an Israeli official, that he's a high-ranking this, that he works directly under Netanyahu, what police officer who's just trying to save his pension is going to speak out against this shit? They say they're the chosen. They say it. In the book they made. Yeah. She added that Attorney General Pam Bondi and the FBI Director Kash Patel are outraged about the incident. Oh, I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're very upset. I think the whole submarine sandwich thing was a shot at me. I really do. And I know that may seem arrogant to people, and it is. It is. But it's more confidence than anything. It's what they do. You're forgetting the POS in between the and J's. The POS J's. I'm going to address it just because it's funny, but I showered just before my video yesterday. And so I had this shirt on. And then I haven't showered yet today. So it has been over 24 hours. But just so you, because I know how you're obviously paying attention to something in the video, but you're not addressing the points being made, interestingly. But yes, I showered before the video yesterday, but not today. Aww. I might just wear this shirt for like 3-4 days just to make a point. The individual who fled our country should have had his passport seized by the state authorities. He must be returned immediately to face justice. Did she say that? Really? Meanwhile, the controversy has brought scrutiny to Chata's record, who has a history of posting bigoted and dehumanizing posts against Palestinians. How is it that this person has this history and is still in their position? Because if it was the other way around, if this person had a history of bigoted and dehumanizing posts against the Israelis, if they even spoke about the crimes the Israelis are committing, they would have been removed. It would have been a long time ago. On her now deleted personal X account, she deleted her whole account, which, depending on how long she had it, I mean, it has years of memories and shit she had to get rid of. The little hats need to be removed. Exactly. That cult needs to be eliminated. Just like we would any other cult that's pedophilic in nature, that's genocidal in nature, that's supremacist in nature. We wouldn't allow any other cult to exist like that. We definitely wouldn't fund it and grant it immunity and ultimate power over everyone. We wouldn't protect it from even from scrutiny and shit. We'd call it what it was. Chata has referred to Palestinians in Gaza as animals, called for wiping the territory off the map, and suggested that even the children, quote, in the enclave are terrorists. Why is this person still in their position? you're complaining about culture like a racist and then say no tears over here, calling it what it is. I love when people are dumb enough to say Judaism is a race. You can't convert to a race. If I start squinting my eyes and talking real stereotypically, oh, I talk a regadis, do I get to say I'm Chinese now? I'm Chinese. Treat me as Chinese. Call me Chinese. My name is Ping Pao Poo. Call me Ping Pao Poo from now on. I'm Chinese. Are you allowed to convert to China, to Chinese? Is that a thing? No. How about if I change my name to Chaim Killing Childrenstein and I put on a goofy hat and I grow my little thing, my sideburns real long, and I start telling everybody, I'm Jay. You got to call me Jay from now on. I'm Jewish. Look at me. I'm Chaim Killing Childrenstein. Identify me as Jewish and everything I do is protected, and, you know, would that be allowed to exist? If you're going to attempt to insult, at least be intelligent about it. I like the challenge. You're fucking stupid. Ignorant, insecure arrogance is the thing we are fighting against. At the end of the day, notice how literally none of these people are telling us about the good stuff that Israel does. None of these people are telling us about the good side of Judaism. They never do. All of these people who are supposedly mad at me for talking about this, they never have anything good to say about Israel or the Jays. Strange how that works out. So narcissistic. Yep, that's me. Super narcissistic. Not the person that comes to the feed and tries to tell the other person what they should be talking about. Not the person that's talking shit without really addressing what's being said. That's not narcissistic. Morning, Matt. Yes, I'll attack anybody who says anything wrong. Better believe it. And if I misunderstand what you're saying, I'd be more than happy to acknowledge that as well. But I don't care who you are. You could be family, you could be friends, you could be whatever. If you come on here and you say the wrong thing, especially if you're close to me. Like, it's one thing if you're just some dumb Israeli troll. It's another thing if we're supposed to be connected in some way. The Justice Department and Chattah's office did not respond to Al Jazeera's request for comment. What a surprise. Davies noted that Alexandrovich could still be extradited to face trial in the U.S., but the issue would require political will. No, it can't. Israel doesn't extradite. The U.S. could request it, but Israel won't fulfill it, and then nothing will come of it. They'll be like, fuck you, we're not doing that shit. Mind your own business. And the United States will be like, oh, sorry. Sorry. The court should be concerned about protecting children in this community and nationwide, so it's highly unusual again to allow this person to leave. Can they extradite them? Yes, they can. Will they? I guess that remains to be seen. No, they can't. Who says they can? Wow, this already has a Wikipedia page. In August 2025, Tom Atram Alexandrovich, a senior Israeli official, was arrested in Las Vegas, Nevada, and charged with soliciting a minor A felony. Alexandrovich was among 8 individuals arrested during a 2-week undercover sting operation targeting child sex predators. That's one every other day. If they showed us the numbers of just how many people they spoke to, like the 8 that they caught is 1% of what they talked to. You know, it's a very small amount. They catch only those compelled enough or arrogant enough to meet a child. All the other people who were trying to solicit pictures and all that shit and trying to spark the conversation or, you know, invite the child to their house, whatever, that just goes away. Alexandrovich was subsequently released and allowed to return to Israel. Alexandrovich is Executive Director, Defense Division at the Israel National Cyber Directorate. He was in Las Vegas to attend the Black Hat Computer Security Conference. Alexandrovich was arrested in a child sex predator sting operation in Henderson, Nevada, about 16 miles southwest of downtown Las Vegas. He was charged. I mean, that's why he was there to begin with. You know, nobody is 16 miles south of Las Vegas unless they live there. You know, you're not in Nevada for anything other than Vegas. So to be so far out of the town to begin with, that says a lot. He was charged with cyber luring a child for a sex act, a felony that carries up to 10 years in prison, and booked into detention. Released the next day on a $10,000 bond. Who paid the bond? That'd be an interesting thing to figure out. He returned to Israel 2 days later despite felony charges and lack of diplomatic immunity. So he didn't have the diplomatic immunity that most of them do. In response to the incident, the Cyber Directorate claimed that the Directorate has not received additional details through authorized channels to date. Should such details be received, the Directorate will act accordingly. At this stage, by joint decision, the employee has gone on leave to deal with the matter until things become clearer. And that's that. Black Hat. Black Hat briefings. Black Hat briefings, commonly referred to as Black Hat, is a computer security conference that provides security consulting, training, and briefings to hackers, corporations, and government agencies around the world. Black Hat brings together a variety of people interested in information security, ranging from non-technical individuals, executives, hackers, and security professionals. The conference takes place regularly in Las Vegas, Barcelona, London, and Riyadh, but has also been hosted in Amsterdam, Tokyo, and Washington, D.C. in the past. You would think, I mean, that's probably an expensive operation. The founder is a guy named Jeff Moss. This is Jeff Moss in 2012. This guy is younger than my wife. Of course, born January 1st. Amazing how many of these people are born January 1st. Jeff Moss, also known as Dark Tangent, is an American hacker, community, computer and internet security expert who founded Black Hat and DEF CON computer security conferences. DEF CON. You know, like Kanye's gonna go DEF CON 3 on the J's. Gosh. That is... You guys serious right now? There's the connection to it. I've been saying it forever. Is it DEF CON, like definitely a con? Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, he came running. Yeah. Yep. Early life and education. Moss received his first computer at the age of 10. He became fascinated because he wasn't old enough to drive a car or vote, but he could engage in adult conversation with people all over the country. That's just weird. It's just a weird thing to say. So what got you into it? Well, it's because I can engage in adult conversation. Like, that's just the strangest thing to say. Moss graduated from Gonzaga University with a BA in criminal justice. He worked for Ernst & Young LLP in their information system security division and was a director at Secure Computing Corporation, where he helped establish the professional services department in the United States, Asia, and Australia. In 1993, so at 18 years old, he created the first DEF CON hacker convention based around a party for members of a FIDO hacking network in Canada. It slowly grew, and by 1999 was attracting major attention. In 1997, he created Black Hat Briefings Computer Security Conference. What do you think the black hat is in reference to? In American opinion, why do people do that? Why do people ask if they can ask a question? Just ask the fucking question. Such a weird thing to do. I might be an ignorant, but you are. In 2000, oh wait. Black Hat. He sold Black Hat in 2005 to CMP Media, a subsidiary of UK-based United Business Media, for a reported 13.9 million US dollars. DEF CON was not included in the sale. He sold Black Hat, but kept DEF CON. In 2018, Jeff launched the first DEF CON hacker convention outside the US, holding the same name. DEF CON China was hosted in Beijing, China, and co-hosted by Baidu, B-A-I-D-U. The first year of DEF CON China was labeled a beta year, and in 2019, they formalized the conference with DEF CON China 1.0. Moss is a member and regular attendee of... Oh, come on. Attendee of the Washington, D.C. based Council on Foreign Relations, the CFR. What? Are you surprised? I am super surprised. I owe you $20 for fentanyl? I didn't know fentanyl was that cheap. Must not be very much, huh? An independent, nonpartisan membership organization, think tank, and publisher. Yeah, that's what the Council of Foreign Relations is. In 2009, Moss was sworn into the Homeland Security Advisory Council of the Barack Obama administration. In April 2011, Jeff Moss was appointed CAN Security Chief, or Chief Security Officer, CANN, or ICANN, sorry, ICANN. I don't know what that is. Let's see. ICANN is the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers. Is a global multi-stakeholder and nonprofit organization headquartered in the United States, responsible for coordinating the maintenance and procedures of several databases related to the namespaces and numerical spaces of the Internet, while also ensuring the Internet's smoothly secured, stable operation. ICANN performs the actual technical maintenance of the central Internet address pools and DNS root zone registries pursuant to the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, IANA, function contact. The contact regarding the IANA stewardship functions between ICANN and the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, NTIA, of the United States Department of Commerce ended on October 1st, 2016, formally transitioning the functions to the global multi-stakeholder community. So this is the thing that controls the internet? I mean, it's focus. Manage internet protocol numbers and domain name system root. So it's our identities. It's our digital identities. This is what manages those. Because most of us like to just think like our shit's created, we create our web address or our email account. And then it's just like, it's like buying something that you have on a shelf in your house or something. You know, you think you have some sort of security, privacy, ownership over this thing, but you don't. You don't. Much of its work has concerned the internet's global domain name system, including policy development for internationalization of the DNS. Internationalization, is that like is that like a normalization deal? Introduction of new generic top-level domains, TLDs, and the operation of root name servers. The numbering facilities ICANN manages include the Internet Protocol IP address spaces for IPv4 and v6, in addition to the assignment of address blocks to regional internet registries, RIRs. I wish all of this wasn't so foreign to me. Like, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just, I know what it sounds like to me, but I don't know enough about computers to know the full extent, the full weight of what's being said here. I can just tell it's something important. Look at all the ad hominem. Look at all the crybaby trying to talk about anything but what I'm talking about. ICANN's primary principles of operation have been described as helping preserve the operational stability of the internet, promoting competition, achieving broad representation of the global internet community, and developing policies appropriate to its mission through bottom-up census-based processes. The organization has often included a motto of "One World, One Internet." On annual reports beginning in 2010, on less formal publications, as well as their official website. ICANN was officially incorporated in the state of California on September 30th, 1998, with entrepreneur and philanthropist Esther Dyson as founding chairwoman. Esther Dyson is a Swiss-born American investor, journalist, author, commentator, and philanthropist. But she's not like an engineer, architect, veterinarian, inventor.
Dog groomer.
No, it can't. You have to have something outside. Botanist. It has to be different. I just want to see what her early life is. Esther Dyson's father was English-born American natural physicist Freeman Dyson. His name was Freeman Dyson. And her mother was mathematician Vernia Huber Dyson of Swiss parentage. Her brother is science historian George Dyson. Her paternal grandfather was the composer Sir George Dyson, She was educated at Harvard, where she studied economics and wrote for the Harvard Crimson. That's it. That's it. We don't need to know any more about her. Originally headquartered in Marina del Rey, in the same building as the University of Southern California's Information Science Institute, ISI, the offices are now in the Playa Vista neighborhood of Los Angeles. Before the establishment of ICANN, the IANA function of administering RIRs, including the distributing top-level domains and IP addresses. The distributing of top-level domains and IP addresses. So this is not just like you, this is where the government gets their shit from. So before the establishment of IANA function, the IANA function of administering RIRs was performed by John Postel, a computer science researcher who had been involved in the creation of ARPANET, first at UCLA and then at USC ISI. John Postel. John Postel was an American, from 43 to 98, was an American computer scientist who made many significant contributions to the development of the internet, particularly with aspects to standards. He is known principally for being the editor of the Request for Comment docuseries for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol and for administering the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority until his death. So he was 55 when he died. In 1998, just after all of this was established, that seems strange. During his lifetime, he was referred to as the God of the Internet for his comprehensive influence. Postel himself noted that his complaint came with a barb, or his compliment came with a barb, the suggestion that he should be replaced by a professional, and responded with typical self-effacing matter-of-factness. Of course, there isn't any God of the internet. The internet works because a lot of people cooperate to do things together. There is no early life for him. That's interesting. Postel attended Van Nuys High School and UCLA, where he earned a BS as well as an MS. He earned his BS in '66 and his master's in '68. What? What? And we're talking about computer sciences or just engineering? Okay. There he completed his PhD in computer science in 1974. So at least it took him 6 years to get the PhD, with David Farber as his thesis advisor. So I bet we know who David Farber is. What do you think? You think David Farber? David J. Farber?
Yes.
David J. Farber. He's still alive, born in '34, is a professor of computer science noted for his major contributions to programming languages and computer networking, who is currently the distinguished professor and co-director of Cyber Civilization Research Center at Kilo University in Japan. He has been called the grandfather of the internet. Nationality, he's American. Again, there's no early life for this guy. It just goes right into his career. Interesting how, like, I can look up what, you know, Cornelius Drebbel's early life was in the 1500s. And granted, Cornelius Drebbel is the greatest man in history, the most incredible man in history, though none of you know who he is. I know about job offers he turned down. I know about, you know, who his mother was, who his father was. You know, we know all this shit about Cornelius Drebbel from 1500s. But David J. Farber, who is alive today and is considered the grandfather of the internet, nothing. I know his birthday. I know he's clearly a J. David's a dead giveaway. Farber's definitely a dead giveaway. I wish it was a dead giveaway. That'd be great. It is fucking crazy. It, here's the thing. People who have seen and done nothing have a very restricted perspective. Yeah, that's what it is. The fact that what I do commands so much attention, so much effort, so much energy, not into telling me what I'm wrong about, but into talking shit and trying to shoot the messenger, tells me what I'm doing is the right thing. The fact that I put out lots of what should be considered legitimate questions, you know, legitimate information here, and people are just like, oh, I'm fucking stupid. I mean, you start seeing these, you know, it's all the same shit. This is just boring. And who knows if it's true. But basically, it comes down to this Jeff Moss character is involved in so many different things. And the whole DEF CON thing is just really interesting. Moss was an executive producer on DEF CON, the documentary. The film follows the 4 days of the conference, events and people, attendees and staff, and covers history and philosophy behind DEF CON's success and unique experiences. He was also a cast member in the film Code 2600. Moss also works with the technical consulting team for the television series Mr. Robot. Interesting. DEF CON was portrayed in the X-Files episode 3 of a Kind, featuring an appearance by the Lone Gunman. Isn't the Lone Gunman the episode where they almost crashed the plane into the building? Oh. Our characters who appeared in reoccurring roles in the American television series X-Files from the Warren Commission's conclusion that Lee Harvey. I mean, it's all there. Described as countercultural patriots, they are ardent conspiracy theorists, government watchdogs, and computer hackers who frequently assist central X-Files characters Mulder and Scully, though they sometimes have their own adventures. The Lone Gunman author, a news publication called The Lone Gunman, once referred to as the Magic Bullet newspaper, a pejorative reference to the single bullet theory. Let's do this. I've been meaning to do this. Let's just do this. It's amazing how we happen to find ourselves here. The single bullet theory, also known as the magic bullet theory. The single bullet described in the theory. This is the bullet. This pristine bullet is the one that supposedly, went through Kennedy and then went through the other guy. And here, let's John Connolly. Let's read what it says. Was introduced by the Warren Commission in its investigation of the assassination of U.S. President John F. Kennedy. Right, and John F. Kennedy is the ultimate proof of how arrogant you are. Well, Jesus is actually the ultimate proof. Christianity is, but this is one of those things where, every single person on here, like nobody on here is going to say they believe the Oswald shot Kennedy narrative. They're not going to believe the magic bullet theory. Nobody is going to say they do. So basically, what you're all saying is that you believe your government is fucking lying to you. That's what you're comfortable with saying. I believe the government is lying to me, and I'm okay with that. You still believe your government when they tell you the earth is round. You still believe your government when they tell you, well, I would say 9/11, but most of you don't believe in 9/11. Don't believe the narrative 9/11 gave you either. So, to explain what happened to the bullet that struck Kennedy in the back and exited through his throat, given the lack of damage to the presidential limousine, consistent with it having been struck by a high velocity bullet, and the fact that Texas Governor John Connolly was wounded and was seated in a jumper seat 1.5 feet in front of and slightly to the left of the president, the commission concluded that they were likely struck by the same bullet. This is such a crazy, this is like everybody shouldn't believe the narrative when it's given to them like this. Ooh, I love my meth. Meth. Generally credited to the Warren Commission staffer Arlen Specter. Arlen Specter is this guy. Wonder if he's related to Phil Spector. Spouse Joan Levy. So he's got a J wife. Spector was born in Wichita, Kansas, to immigrant Russian, Ukrainian, Jewish parents. So right away, we have our connection. The guy who just somehow came up with the magic bullet theory is Jewish. Later, a U.S. senator from Pennsylvania, this theory posits that a single bullet known as Warren Commission Exhibit 339 or CE39, Warren Commission Exhibit 399 or CE399 caused all the wounds to the governor and the non-fatal wounds to the president, which totals up to 7 entry-exit wounds in both men. One bullet. Are we fucking serious here? The theory says that a 3-centimeter long copper-jacketed lead core rifle bullet from a Model 9138 Carcano fired from the 6th floor of the Texas School Depository. The book depository might have something in it. The book depository. Passed through President Kennedy's neck, went through the back, passed through his neck, into Governor Connolly's chest. How did it go in through his chest? I mean, he wasn't turned around when it was happening. Okay, went in through Connolly's chest, went through his right wrist, and embedded itself in Connolly's left thigh. Wait, no. If so, this bullet traversed a back brace, 15 layers of clothing, 7 layers of skin, and approximately 15 inches of muscle tissue, and pulverized 4 inches of Connolly's rib, and shattered his radius bone. The bullet was found on a gurney in the corridor at Parkland Memorial Hospital after the assassination. The Warren Commission found that this gurney was the one that had carried Governor Connolly, but it weren't. In its final conclusion, the Warren Commission found persuasive evidence from experts that a single bullet caused President Kennedy's throat wound and all of the wounds found in Governor Connolly. It acknowledged that there was a difference of opinion among the members of the commission as to this probability, but stated that the theory was not essential to its conclusions and that all members had no doubt that all shots were fired from the 6th floor window of the book depository building. Based on what? Most critics believe that the single bullet theory is essential to the Warren Commission's conclusion that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. The reason for this is timing. If, as the Warren Commission found, President Kennedy was wounded sometime between frames 210 and 225 of the Zapruder film, another J, and Governor Connolly was wounded in the back chest no later than frame 240, there would have not been enough time between the wounding of the two men for Oswald to have fired 2 shots from his bolt-action rifle. FBI marksman who test-fired the rifle for the Warren Commission concluded that the minimum time for getting off 2 consecutive well-aimed shots on a rifle is approximately 2¼ seconds, or 41 to 42 Zapruder frames. I would love to see them do this, because there is no film of them doing this. I mean, boom, boom. That's 2 seconds. This would be an amazing thing, and I would love to see somebody pull it off. The United States House Select Committee on Assassinations published their report in 1979, stating that their forensic pathology panel's conclusions were consistent with the so-called single bullet theory advanced by the Warren Commission. The first preliminary report on the assassination issued by the FBI on December 9th, 1963, said 3 shots rang out. You know what? I'm going to reset. Check out the links in the description, but come back because they're fucking with the feed, so let's give it a reset. Hopefully you join us, and pedophiles like Randy, kill yourself.